Yo, we have another car video today. I'm not sure why I was so excited, but we'll just live with that. Today's car video is actually going to be on mentality being everything. And here's what made me come up with the idea. Yesterday, I uploaded a video. Definitely check it out on my channel. It was speaking about my testimony and prayer and how prayer works. And when you think about your mentality being everything is the way that you think. It's really the way that you shape your thoughts. If you're constantly thinking about bad things in your mind, life is like a magnet, and you're the table, you're the metal table, and life just kind of sticks like this when it comes to those things. It's like a magnet. And it definitely let me know that as far as that other testimony, I'll cut a short story short. I don't know what English was that, but stay tuned for that. I don't know where I'm going with this, but number one is the testimony that I had yesterday was I was going through a very tight situation financially, and long story short, I got the money that I needed. And during this time, I was praying, but God had told me to not pray so small in parallel. He was asking me while I was in the middle of prayer, he's like, why are you praying so small? And then I'm like, so you just want me to ask for the whole balance? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, God, I want you to pay for this whole balance of all this debt that I have. And I hope I get it. And then he's like, okay, I got you. So later on, it just ended up happening. And it just brings me to tears because this isn't the first time it's happened either. And God put me in this season for financial struggle. And he did this to increase my faith. In the Bible, it explains about how there's certain seasons where you will struggle and certain seasons where you'll be blooming and you'll be absolutely great. And these are lesson times for your faith. These are trials for your faith. And these trials create a stronger you, a more powerful you, a more encouraged you so that you can motivate other people. I think personally, God gives us trials and then testimonies right after as a result of the trial, if they end up being a good result or a bad result, to teach others about it so that they know that their God, our God exists, Jesus Christ exists. And sometimes it can be very hard for some people to have faith financially because they just don't want to see God as a genie. They don't want to see God as a quote unquote a financial provider. But my thing about that also is that God is a provider towards his children, just as long you're not the person picking up the phone saying, God, I want $100 for Mary Jane, or I want $100 for Snow White, that it's crazy. Don't ever think about it like that for vices and stuff. Like, obviously God is not going to give it to you if it's for that. But if it's for things that he truly wants you to have, like the mental peace of just not being stressed about finances, he will give it to you. The mental clarity for you to not be at that job that's clogging up your mind, making you depressed, missing church every week. He will give you that. So for the non-Christians in the chat, mentality is everything because it judges on the fact that what you do every morning. If you wake up tomorrow and you say today is going to be a bad day, everything from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night is going to be shitty. And that's just because of the actions of your mentality. And it takes time to adopt this. It takes a lot of time to adopt this. It takes waking up in the morning and forcing yourself, hey, today is going to be a good day. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like saying these things, but I'm going to say them anyways. It's just forcing the mentality of it's going to be a good day that starts the fire of positive thinking. It starts when you wake up. The actions you do, the people you shake hands with, and the God that you pray to. All of these things encompass your mentality. If I'm waking up in the morning and I tell God to F off, and then I go to my friends and I say, leave me alone, and I push them. And then I'm coming home and I'm slapping my dog in the face and I tell him, bad dog, All of these things in a circle cause anger. versus the other side of things. You're being nice to people. You're talking love to yourself. You're going to come home, do a couple jumping jacks, take a shower, and give yourself a nice massage. This is going to create peace in you. It's going to create love within you to express to others. And that's where it starts. Now, the second thing is, how do you interact with people? Like I was saying before, motivate yourself to talk to people. We're humans. We need to talk to others. Staying in your mental space when you're in a toxic mental space is horrible. The amount of negative self-talk I give myself when I haven't talked to anybody all day is absolutely astonishing. I set myself back hours of just negative thinking. And we need to talk to people. And it doesn't matter if you say hi to the cashier, how's your day been? You shake hands with the bus driver, you shake hands with your teacher, you say good morning to your boss even though you don't like your boss, but you want to show that you care a little bit. You know, all these little actions fix the mentality that you're in. The mentality, and this is going to go to my third point, the mentality of negative thinking also matters in environment. If you're constantly, and this what at least works with me, is your environment is everything. If you're staying inside all the time, isolating yourself, again, not talking to anybody, at least for me, this rotation of negative thoughts happens because you're at an idle state. The body doesn't like being at an idle state. It's meant to move, do some type of action. That's why when you do these factory work and you're staying up for like 12 hours and you're just standing there looking at a machine, doing paperwork, you're not really exercising. It changes you. It makes you a very horrible person. It makes you a very miserable. That's the word I was looking for. A very miserable person. And that's what was turning me into a miserable person. Even though this job allowed me to go to Japan, God bless to that. But during the time in Japan, I just wasn't so mentally focused when I was in Japan. And that's the thing, is like, the jobs can give you all of this money. They can give you all of this money and drown you out in crazy type of numbers. 25 an hour, 30 an hour, overtime, holiday pay, time and a half, and this and that. But what value are you getting out of this life? What is the value? And that's why I stress to people. I'm like, dude, your 9 to 5 is fine. But if you're waking up and you're just working 9 to 5 and you're not doing anything else, you're not hitting the gym. And this is why I believe in people who are fitness people on YouTube too, is that there must be something else. You must be creating content on YouTube, creating content on Instagram, sharing posts. I don't know, video game professionally on Twitch. Talk about certain products that you've bought off Amazon and how horrible they are. You can't just be sitting around watching TV all the time. That's insane to me. I can understand an hour you're trying to wind down from work and you want to watch an episode of Dragon Ball Z. You know, I do that. It's cool, but 5 hours, 7 hours of just staying home it's just a really, really toxic space to be in. The last point I'll make is relationships. And I mean this by the friends you hang out with. Ironically enough, what's worked out really for me is eliminating my old circle of people, isolating myself, making myself who I want to be, and starting a new circle again. This can take time. It can take between, at least for me, it took me like 2 to 5 years to really find myself, find a good ground on who I was, and see if I was firm in that foundation. I give myself a couple of months to see, I wouldn't say idling, but getting comfortable in that space and seeing if I got used to a certain routine. And I did. And then people just evolved around that. And you can do the same thing too. Like literally after high school, you might say, I'm going to push these people away. I don't want to hang out with these people. All they do is smoke, drink, and party. And that's all they do. And I'm just annoyed about it. So I'm going to start my own life. I'm going to isolate myself for a year. And then Whoever comes in. And that's a good mentality to have. But like I said in my last point, is just make sure you're proactively talking to people so that you can invite new friends in. The old friends will come back, but I would only accept them back if they've changed, if they've proven themselves to change, to not smoke and drink, now they're hitting the gym, now they're making YouTube content, they're looking for something better for themselves, they're going to college to become a mechanic. If you see if they've genuinely changed, feel free to add them back into your life and introduce them to your train of thought too, so you guys are interacting and changing each other's minds, because bouncing around ideas is never a bad thing, especially when you're growing to become a positive thinker. I'll end it with this. Positive thinking and mentality is everything, because this is the only prize you have in life, and God gives you one life, and that's it. You can either decide to move on or it's game over. You just got to think about it as God saying to you, no matter who you are, faith, not, you're given a card. And this card has 90 years in it, or 85 years, or 100 years, whatever your belief is. And God gives it to you and says, here, I don't want this back to your 85. You only get one chance. Don't break it. Don't scratch it. Don't lose it. And losing it meaning staying at idle, doing nothing with your life. And the Bible talks about the talents, and I love this one the most, is the one that had one and did nothing in it with it, and he buried it. He just gave it to the next person. And this could mean many things. It could mean your talent being passed down to somebody else because of the fact that you're not using it. Or this could be your positive thinking talent. If you want to stay at an idle space of negative thinking and staying like that for the rest of your life, God will gladly pass that on to somebody else who's going to use it more effectively. And if you keep having faith, you keep on going strong and you keep on showing daily dedication, you grab that card and you clock in at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're saying, God, I'm grabbing the card and I'm clocking in with it. And I'm going to make today count. When you don't make the days count, you're just grabbing that card. You're not clocking in. You're just putting it in your pocket and moving on with your life. So be careful with that. I'll end the video with that. Hopefully this motivated you. I expressed a little bit of my mental space. And drop a comment below if it motivated you, please, because I really love expressing my testimonies and stories, because I hope it motivates somebody one day to seek God. And if not to seek God, then to stay encouraged and stay motivated. And to show that through love, because that's all I've wanted to do. I love you guys. You already know. God loves you too. Peace out.